exam. Here I'm gonna talk exactly what the exam is consisted of without violating, because there is a special privacy note that is forbidding to you to copy or divulge the information exactly as it is on the exam. Why is that? I cannot tell you, but I will tell you what's the difference between what they trained you and what is on the exam. Okay, before I start this video, I will tell you that I did attempt the court interpreter test for the 3rd time in San Diego, in California, in the month of February. There was this organization that did sponsor me to go and attempt the test. So I didn't pay it. Normally it's about $200, $187, something like that. It was free of charge, and when I saw it was free of charge, I said maybe in California, maybe in San Diego, the situation is better regarding the test, not like here in Colorado, okay? So before I do that, I would just tell you that I study over 12 books and so many materials about the court interpreter test. Not only, but if you go on YouTube and Google legal terminology for court interpreter exam, I know them all. All of these videos that give you terminology, I study them all, I pause them, I write down the words, all of them. And I study them as a new language. I speak 5 languages, so I believe I have a good memory. At least it's not so bad. My memory is okay, right? I also watch everything from Mr. Joe Hernandez that is called Court Interpreter Program. All of the videos that there is with Mr. Joe Hernandez, I watch them. Not only I watch them, I study them. I pause the video and I took a notes, and I have them all over here. I think I have about 200 pages of this information that I get online that I did it manually, okay? But I still didn't pass the test. And now I'm gonna tell you why I didn't pass the test, and I'm gonna tell you guys, if you do not pass the court interpreter test, don't feel bad about it, because it's kinda normal. If you watch video number 1, where I talk about the training that they do in Broadway here, downtown Denver, Colorado, you already understood that the trainings has nothing to do with the test. Yes, they talk about the test, they talk in general, but I don't understand why, if the test is going to include, let's say, 2,000 pages of a material, why this should be a secret? Why me as an interpreter, I have to be disadvantaged and not have the information about the test, but still expect me to pass it and teach me something completely else? So I'm gonna show you step by step what they train you, and I'm gonna say as much as I can say about what exactly is court interpreter test. I repeat, I attempted the test twice in Denver, Colorado, and 1 time in San Diego, California. The first time I failed with 75%. The second time I failed with 63%, and the last time that I attempted in California, I failed with 70% or so. 68. If you know, in order to pass the test, you have to have 85% of correct answer, which means 109 questions from 130. This is really high rate in order to pass this test. So if you don't pass the test, guys, don't feel bad. This is not because you're not smart. This is not because you're not intelligent. This is not because you're stupid, but because this test is dysfunctional. Not only the test is dysfunctional, but the information that they give you in these trainings, at least with my experience, has nothing to do with the test itself. I have here a section of this book, Colorado Training, from the Colorado Court Interpreter Orientation, and they talk about the sections of the exam, and they separate it like that, and they give you an examples. The examples that they give you sound very logical. Trust me, This example has nothing to do with the test. I repeat, nothing to do with the test, okay? So the first part is called sentence competition, and here they said that this is 9 question. Okay, there is 9 question on sentence competition. Here they give you an example, and I will read it for you. This is how they train you. A person who feels persecuted in his home country may appeal for political. The correct answer is asylum. You have appellation, appraisal, ascendentance. And they give you the correct answer is asylum. Sounds kind of logical, guys. When you go to do the test, it doesn't matter if you're gonna do it manually or if you're gonna do it on the computer. I guarantee you, I put my head on it, the first 9 questions have nothing to do with this. They have nothing to do with this. Not only they use phrases and words that me, living and speaking English for over 15 years, living here in America, speaking English, not only here but worldwide, I have never heard about it. Not only me, but I am pretty sure that if they give those questions to native people normally speaking English, they would not even understand what is it about. So the first part of this test, the first 9 questions are totally guess it, like, or you know it by accident, or you hear it. There is no way you can be ready for that because it's complete BS. Forgive me, guys, I want to say the word. The first 10 questions, sentence completeness, has nothing to do even with TOEFL or with STAT. It's beyond that. It seems like they took it from some kind of a fantastic specific field. It's not even legal. So you are already 9 questions off. You cannot answer this question properly because you gotta go to attempt those tests so many times that you memorize them. You understand why? Because otherwise there is no way you can respond if you don't know exactly the answer. Okay, the part number 2, here they said synonymous in context, said 7 questions, and then they said synonymous. Okay, so the 7 question, the synonymous in context, I repeat, guys, the problem is not that they give you synonymous. The problem is that the words that they pick are not words that you can hear in English language speaking, and not even in the aristocracy. Normally the people that need your interpretation assistance, they don't have such a high register, first of all, and they don't know those words. But it doesn't matter. I repeat, this test is completely dysfunctional and complete loss of your time. But still, if you want to waste your time with it, and if you have money, and if you want to attempt it, I want you to know exactly what you can expect. So it was done pursuant to this is the example that they give you, to the proceedings of the court. Pursuant means in accordance with. If you read all this material that I mentioned in the beginning, only 1%, I repeat, only 1% you could see in the test. The rest is complete fantasy. So the synonymous in context, these 10 questions, it's like, again, a fantasy game. Then you have the synonymous, words that you have to pick the one that is similar. And you have, for example, let's say scaffold. Scaffold means platform. They give you this example and they said table, prop, curtain, and so. Okay, yes, guys, there is synonymous, but they have nothing to do with legal. They are nothing to do with legal. They're also nothing to do with normal words that you can use. They're nothing to do with the information that you find online, and they're nothing to do with a medium statistic American knowledge. For example, the problem with this synonymous, I will tell you what is the problem. You give one word. Let's say colander. This is the word that I am pretty sure I read probably all the 3 times that I was there. Colander is this thing that you use to drain pasta with and so and so. They ask you to pick a synonym. All the words that they give you are synonymous as an answers. But by some magical fantascientical rule, you gotta know which synonym, by some kind of a secret rule, by their opinion, is the closest one to colander. Even though all the 4 words that they give you as example, they're all synonymous. So what makes this test so complicated is not the fact that you need to know English well, it's not the fact that you have to be ready, it's not the fact that you have to know legal. No. The fact is that the test is designed for you to fail. Yes, guys. You can think I'm crazy. I'm sharing my opinion on this test, okay? Then the second part of this synonymous is about emotion. I will separate them. One is about things that I cannot say never heard about it, but probably 99% of the Americans and 99% of the foreigners have not heard, have not even know that these things exist, right? And then the second part is about a synonymous of emotions, herbies, scatter, all these weird words that express rage or anger or something. But again, I repeat, the test is designed in this manner that 99.9% you're gonna give the wrong answer, unless somebody train you and prepare you for this test, somebody that know what is gonna be on the test, somebody that did the test probably 200 times and know a memory what is it in there and what it means and how to pass it, right? So I think there's some kind of conspiracy regarding this test. Okay, let's go to the part 3, antonymous. So they said this is question from 39 to 50. The opposite meaning of the words, okay? So you have excesses. Excess means too much. So the opposite is restrict or restricted here. So excessive, when you have to choose the antonym, you have stingy, large, and robust. And then restrained. So on this part again, I repeat, the antonyms that you have to pick are nothing to do with all the information you have heard. If you read all this information online, 10 interests, they give you these guidebooks. This is total wasting of time, guys. I'm telling you, do not waste time to study, because there is no way you can study that. There is no way, because there is no book that give you the information about what the exam is gonna be. And it's some kind of a secret monopoly behind the court interpreting test, because how is possible that somebody pass it, somebody with lower IQ that speak only 1 language, and me person that speak 5 languages? It's total secret for me, and it's total secret what the test is gonna be about and all that kind of things. It just doesn't make any sense, okay? Okay, let's go to the next part, idioms. They said this idioms 51 to 75. Okay, again on the idioms, I read all these books. I would tell you, even though I was feeling that the idioms is my weakest part, and I was feeling so ready about this first part that I talked, idioms are more or less common sense. You can know them, you can guess them. 51 to 75, about 20 questions. I will tell you, it's kind of luck again. Maybe 10 of them you would know, and the rest are, or you know them or you don't. There is no way that you can guess them. The court related terms, they said the section 2 of the exam, this is total bullshitting you. The information that you receive regarding this part of the test is total waste of time, guys. Okay, I will tell you why. Sentence competition, and they give you an example here. A case decided without prejudice means that there is no right to new trial. There is a right. Without prejudice, there is a right. With a prejudice, no right for a new trial, okay? This sounds very logical. Again, I repeat, 1 or 2% of the test, 1 or 2% of information you have. The 99%, they completely waste your time. They take your brain, they take your energy to a place that you don't need to be. You waste your time studying things that you don't need for this test, okay? Now, very interesting again, Cort related questions. Again, guys, there is nothing to Cort related here. On this part of the questions, they give you this example. Which of the following is concurrent sequence of events? Jury sworn, jury charged, jury deliberation, jury verdict. I know this a memory. This question probably was included. Again, 1%. This is about the Cort related questions. I will tell you there were about 25. I count them, or about 20. And I will tell you what is the problem with those questions. Those questions have nothing to do with how you need to interpret, how you need to act in no, those questions, I will tell you a weird question. I kind of remember it, but vaguely. The weird question was talking about, tell me what is the sequences for arrest? And you have 5 responses. What is the legal proceeding for? And this was about 20 questions, strictly legal. I repeat, this has nothing to do with court interpreting. This was 20 questions about legal sequences of legal proceedings, but proceedings that none of these books or training mention at all, okay? Then professional questions, they said it's just one. Item 126, 127. No, this is 5 questions. They are about professional. These ones are the only part that is related to court interpreting, best practice, and conduct. I think instead of wasting so much time in things that we don't need, this part of question should be larger, because us as medical interpreter, we need to know about these practices and rules in court. Just few questions there, you know. And the last part says scenarios. I believe the scenarios, they said here that is about 8 scenarios. I believe there were 5 scenarios in the end. And they give you an example. So the last part about the court interpreter, professional conduct, and the scenarios, I believe in total that was 10 questions, only 10. So let me tell you, if you went to the classes and if you were trained, only 10 questions of 130 you can be ready for. That's the last part of this question. The rest is wasting of time. So interpreter, witness, given, blah, which do you, how shall you interpret? You shall interpret the same at the level of the witnesses. This is very logical questions. The last scenarios are the one that you eventually will know. Even though if you're super smart, on the court-related questions, which were about, let's call them about 20, you can luckily guess 3. The first part of the test, that it was sentence competition, 1 maybe. So already these 2 parts that are supposed to be related but have nothing to do with it, you fail the test. You fail it. So I just want to let you know that this is what I have to share about why didn't you pass the test. If you did not pass it, don't worry about it. I learned a lot from those books, slangs and idioms and so on. Here is the other ones. This book was very good. Also this one. That was interesting. I haven't read this is the only one I haven't read. This one was really fun. So guys, I hope you understand. I hope this video was useful for you. Just remember, if you didn't pass it, it doesn't mean there is something wrong with you. It means that the system is dysfunctional. I do work as an interpreter, and you don't need this test. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, sharing, subscribing. Please smash this like button and leave me a comment. Bye bye.